फैलती हैं, इसीलिए चाहिए डेटॉल का बेहतरीन जर्म प्रोटेक्शन।
कल इजरायली हमले में शहीद हो गए और ब्रादर इस्लामी ममालिक से दीगर शोहदा जिनकी हालिया हमलों में शहादतें हुईं, इसी तरह हमारे मुल्क में फितना और ख्वारिज की दहशत गर्दी के ख़िलाफ़ जंग में जाम शहादत नोश करने वाले हमारे मुसल्लह अफवाज के शोहदा के लिए फातिहा खानी के लिए मैं मियाँ नुमान साहब आपको गुजारिश करूँगा। हाफिज़ नुमान साहब। माइक खोलिए।
वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यिदिल अंबिया वल मुरसलीन। अल्लाहुम्मा अग़फ़िर लिहय्यिना व मय्यितिना व शाहिदिना व गाइबिना व सगीरिना व कबीरिना व ज़करिना व उन्साना। अल्लाहुम्मा मन अहयैतहु मिन्ना फ़अहयिही अलल इस्लाम व मन तवफ़्फ़यतहु मिन्ना फ़तवफ़्फ़हु अलल ईमान। अल्लाहुम्मा अग़फ़िर लहुम वरहमहुम व ला तुअज़्ज़िबहुम व अस्किनहुम फ़िल जन्नह। अल्लाहुम्मा जअल क़ुबूरहुम रौज़तम मिन रियाज़िल जन्नह। अल्लाहुम्मा जअल क़ुबूरहुम रौज़तम मिन रियाज़िल जन्नह। अल्लाहुम्मा अग़फ़िर लिल मुअमिनीन वल मुअमिनात वल मुस्लिमीन वल मुस्लिमात अल हयाई मिनहुम वल अमवात इन्नका समीउन क़रीबुम मुजीबुद दाअवात। व सल्लल्लाहु तआला अला खैरि ख़ल्क़िही मुहम्मदिन व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि अजमाइन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन।
I invite Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Mr. Asif Ali Zardari, to address under Clause 3 of the Article 56 of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan to both houses assembled together.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Chairman Senate Sayyid Yusuf Raza Gilani, Speaker of the National Assembly Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, Prime Minister Muhammad Shahbaz Sharif, Honorable Members of the Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu Alaikum. It is my singular privilege as your twice elected President to address the August House for the 9th time at the beginning of a new parliamentary year. Each such address is a reminder of continuity of our democratic system and of the responsibility we carry as representatives of people of Pakistan. Nations are tested only in times of crisis, but a key crossroad. The past year has reminded us that the strength of our republic lies in its constitution, in the resilience of our people, the responsibilities of parliament and government, and courage of our armed forces. As we begin a new parliamentary year, we must build upon the resilience, safeguarding sovereignty, strengthening constitutional governance, and advancing economic transformation so that the stability of because growth and generate prosperity, progress, for peace for every citizen. As we gather here today, we stand on the foundation laid by those who shaped our national journey. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah envisioned a democratic state rooted in the constitutionalism and rule of law. Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto gave this nation in its unanimous constitution. Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto strengthened democracy process through sacrifices and exemplary leadership. My own belief in the parliamentary authority does not lie in words alone, but in action that builds our legacy. The last time I was president, I unilaterally returned the powers given to the presidency back to the House of Parliament as envisioned in the 1973 Constitution. Through historic 18th Amendment, today the presidency stands as symbol of unity, of federation, a bridge between federating units and a guardian of constitutional laws, and binds us all. Honorable members, the past 10 months tested our nation in profound and complex ways. When our sovereignty was challenged on either front, Pakistan responded with strategic restraint and firm resolve. When confronted with unprovoked attacks on both our borders, one after the other, our armed forces acted with outstanding professionalism and discipline. In the case of Marka-e-Haq, they turned India's attack on our motherland into a landmark strategic victory. On the western border, when the Taliban regime ramped up a long line of attacks, the night of 26th February, our security forces acted decisively to signal zero tolerance for any incursions or sovereign territory. The political leadership stood united. The people stood resolute. At the outset, I want to express my nation's undying gratitude to the heroic defenders of our borders. It is because of the vigilance, bravery, and service that we are sitting here secure in our workplace and homes. In both successive military encounters, whether short or long, the sacrifices of our army, our forces, navy, rangers, frontier corps, police services, and intelligence agencies will never be reduced to numbers. We only see their action on the media with pride. We don't really see the blood and sweat and tears that go into the training and hardship and service. Each operation reflects planning, discipline, and restraint. Each martyr represents a family that's upon ultimate service for Pakistan's stability. When I visit the families, I feel the same pain that I felt when I lost my wife, Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto, who was martyred by terrorists in the prime of her life. I therefore remind you all that as state we must continue to support their families with dignity and honor. 2025 marked a turning point for Pakistan, defined by the resounding military victories in Marka-e-Haq, which decisively repelled external aggression and shattered the myth of regional conventional superiority. Nobody in South Asia will be free and safe until the Kashmiris win their freedom from Indian occupation. Today, trapped in the strategic short-sightedness, India's leaders said they are preparing for another war. As a lifelong advocate of regional peace, I would not recommend it. At the same time, I would also say that any aggressor should prepare for another humiliating defeat. Make no mistakes, we are ready for you. My message to them is move away from war theatre to meaningful negotiation tables, because that is the only path for the regional security. Pakistan is a responsible nuclear state. We understand the weight of that responsibility. At the same time, we are a state that defends itself decisively when required. Our conduct reflects maturity, confidence, clarity of purpose. In 2025, we acted when necessary and exercised restraint. Once objectives were achieved, the message was understood clearly within region and beyond. In 2026, last week, in fact, when India began to amplify the proxy operations via Afghanistan, the Taliban regime saw with shock and awe what Pakistan can do if pushed past the red line. Until that week, we had tried every possible form of diplomacy to prevent an outbreak of military response to terrorist incursions from Afghanistan, for as war as always the last option to state accepts a strike attack on its soil. Article 51 of the UN Charter gives us the right to defend our sovereignty. We let both India and Afghanistan see a fraction of our capabilities. Over the last 3 years, our armed forces and law enforcement agencies have undertaken determined intelligence-based operations against Indian-sponsored foreign terrorists. This is not a counter-terrorism campaign. The military is fighting alone. The entire nation stands united with its armed forces against cross-border terrorism. Our actions spelled out the limits of our tolerance for attacks from Afghanistan, particularly Indian-sponsored TTP and BLA and affiliates. Let me be clear, the soil of Pakistan is sacred. We will not allow any entity to domestic or foreign to use neighboring territory to destabilize our peace. The recent report from the United Nations Security Council monitoring team has described presence of terrorist groups in Afghanistan as an extra-regional threat. This report warns that any other country could fall victim to another catastrophic attack if the issues are ignored. However, it is sad fact that despite multiple diplomatic engagements by Pakistan and our friendly brother countries, the Afghan de facto regime continues to provide safe sanctuaries to a variety of terrorist groups including Al-Qaeda, BLA and TTP. All promises they made in Doha not to allow these terror groups to operate from Afghan soils have been conveniently forgotten. They must choose to dismantle the terror groups that survive on conflict and its war economy. None of this will feed Afghanistan's children or create opportunities for national cohesion. In our end, we have never treated the Afghan people as anything but kith and kin. We have never walked away from dialogue. The Afghan people need a break from endless wars. Don't take away the choice of the future of prosperity connected to peace. I would urge them to stop being used by other countries as a battlefield for their ambitions. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan remains deeply concerned at the recent grave developments and has always sought to prevent unilateral attacks on any country. In this spirit, we strongly condemn the war being waged on Iran while negotiations were underway. We have reaffirmed our support for sovereignty and territorial integrity of our brotherly nation. I join all Pakistanis to condoling the martyrdom of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. May Allah grant him highest place in Jannah. To this end, we appreciate the efforts of all those countries that sought de-escalation, a conflict between two nuclear neighbors in South Asia, particularly those who took the lead in brokering a ceasefire to end the devastating war that could have engulfed the entire globe. I note satisfaction that in the past year, Pakistan and US have opened new avenues for strengthening cooperation, investment, and economic partnership. The coming year will be even more productive. Anchoring our security in economic growth and regional connectivity, our relations with China have ascended to new heights in all areas. We are ironclad brothers. CPEC 2.0 will revolutionize Pakistan's infrastructure. The entire nation is beholden to China for its solidarity with Pakistan during Marka-e-Haq. I am grateful to the President Xi for advancing our shared objectives of security and connectivity. We have deepened our ties with Gulf countries, Azerbaijan and Turkey. The Pakistan-Saudi Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement is a new milestone in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, while our efforts today are focused on ending the sufferings of the Palestinian people and ending the destruction of Gaza, our principal stance remains unchanged. We will continue to support the creation of independent and undivided state of Palestine with borders as before 1967 and Al-Quds al-Sharif as their capital. India attempts to manipulate the river flows and engage in what amounts to water aggression requires careful long-term policy planning. India's illegal actions that place Indus Water Treaty in absence is plain and simple. Hydro-terrorism, a weaponization of vital water flows to exert political leverage, the bilateral disregard for international and humanitarian law not only jeopardizes Pakistan's agriculture economy but signals a dangerous escalation in India's strategy to destabilize the region. Rivers symbolize life. International law does not permit the unilateral blockage of water. This is not merely a bilateral issue. The stability of the region also depends on a web of trans-boundary water sharing practice. If one treaty is flouted, many others across the board may also suffer the same fate. We will defend our waters' rights with unity, resolve, and strength and legal clarity. Honorable members, as President-elect of the both Houses of Parliament and all provincial assemblies, I am constitutionally bound to safeguard the unity of the Federation and the Parliament. Provincial autonomy under the Constitution has strengthened participatory governance. A strong federation does not require centralization. It requires coordination. Constitutional reforms such as the Council of Common Interest must function effectively. Issues relating to our natural resources, facial distribution, energy coordination, and water management must be resolved through consultative. A functioning and harmonious federation also requires an efficient, equitable distribution of resources. I look forward to a just and equitable National Finance Commission award in the coming year. Balochistan has historically deprivation. It deserves special attention. While we continue to dismantle insurgencies fueled by foreign proxies, we are equally focused on addressing genuine social and economic grievances of Balochistan people. Our strategy is Hearts and Minds campaign, ensuring that dividends of our mineral wealth and blue economy reaches the local population first. The people of Balochistan are and must remain full partners in Pakistan's progress. Honorable members, economy stability is inseparable from national security. I commend the government for steering the economy out of a virtual collapse it faced in the spring of 2022. Through steady stewardship, we have been seen stability return to key indicators. But this is the first step on our journey to a sustained people-centered growth. Our salaried class, pensioners, laborers, small traders have endured long night hardships. Next phase must therefore focus on inclusive growth, jobs and direct relief. Structural reforms remain essential. Transparency in taxation expenditure is fundamental to trust. The tax base must be widened. Technology innovation are reshaping the global economy. Pakistan resist policy framework for emerging sectors, digital assets. Sustainable platforms have been created to support responsible expansion in these areas. We cannot afford technological isolation. Perhaps no single bottleneck, constraints or economic potential may then energize the cost. At a time when the world is moving towards clean energy, Pakistan cannot afford to lag behind. Energy reform is not a sectoral issue. It is a precondition for industrial revival. Agriculture anchors food security and rural livelihood. Climate resilience, agriculture, water management, and coordinated policies are strategic imperative. Climate justice remains a principle we will continue to advocate internationally, but it must be visible at home too. Poverty cannot define the experience of our population. While we plan on going forward, our special protection framework, BISP, should grow to empower those of the bottom of the social pyramid. We must continue to dismantle barriers of women progress, ensuring the daughters of Pakistan have the safety, digital access and financial independence to lead our nation into the future. Honorable members, security, economy, constitutional governance and our interconnected pillars. Weakness is one undermines the other. Strength in one reinforces all. Pakistan has emerged from a period of acute pressure with restored credibility and renewed confidence. The responsibility now lies with us, legislators and policy extractions, to ensure the gains and consolidation as we begin this new parliamentary year. Our priorities must remain clear. Protect sovereignty, eliminate terrorism, build on economic stability towards growth and job creation, strengthen federal harmony and deepen democratic governance. Let us preserve the unity displayed in the moment of trial. Let us institutionalize reforms. Let us ensure microeconomic gains translate into household relief. Let us safeguard our borders while creating opportunities within. May Allah Almighty guide us in fulfilling the trust placed on us. Pakistan Zindabad, Parliament Paindabad.
आसिफ अली जरदारी पार्लियामेंट के मुश्तरका इजलास से खिताब कर रहे थे। सदर का खिताब शुरू होते ही ऐवान में अपोजिशन की जानिब से नारे लगाए गए। सदर जरदारी ने उन नारों का मुस्कुराकर जवाब दिया। सदर जरदारी की जानिब से खिताब में कहा गया कि 18वीं तरमीम फेडरेशन की अलामत है।
मेरा लेमन मैक्स बार कम घुले ज्यादा चले। क्यों? यकीन नहीं आता तो खुद देख लें। दूसरे बार बहुत जल्दी घुल जाते हैं, जबकि मेरा लेमन मैक्स बार सबसे कम घुले तभी तो सबसे ज्यादा चले। लेमन मैक्स बार कम घुले ज्यादा चले।
डॉन न्यूज आवरली क्लॉक के लिए ताउन किया है
सिर्फ लेमन मैक्स बार लाऊंगी।
लेमन मैक्स बार कम घुले ज्यादा चले।
डालडा दे रहा है पूरे 75 रुपए की शानदार बचत।
तो हर अच्छी बात का रखने के लिए ख्याल, चल मेरे लाल।
हेडलाइंस के लिए ताउन किया है
चूज योर सनसिल्क।
तालिबान रजीम ने देख लिया रेड लाइन पार करने पर पाकिस्तान का रद्द-ए-अमल क्या होता है। पाकिस्तान को गैर मुस्तहकम करने के लिए किसी को हमसाया मुल्क की सरजमीन इस्तेमाल करने की इजाज़त नहीं देंगे। सदर आसिफ जरदारी का खिताब। सदर का खिताब शुरू होते ही अपोजिशन की नारेबाजी। आसिफ जरदारी ने मुस्कुराकर नारों का जवाब दिया। इजलास के आगाज़ में शहीद आयतुल्लाह खामनाई और पाकिस्तानी मुसल्लह अफवाज के जवानों के लिए फातिहा खानी। मशरिक़ वस्ता की जंग का तीसरा दिन। ईरान ने कुवैत में कई अमरीकी जहाज़ मार गिराए। अमरीकी सिफारत खाने की इमारत में भी आग भड़क उठी। सऊदी अरब में आरामको की रास तनूरा ऑयल रिफाइनरी पर भी ड्रोन हमले। आग लगने के बाद रिफाइनरी को खाली करवा लिया गया। यूएई की रियासतों दुबई, अबूधाबी और रासुल खैमा पर मजीद हमले। बरतानिया की जानिब से अमरीका को मदद फराहम करने के ऐलान पर भी ईरान का रिएक्शन। कब्रिस में बरतानवी एयरबेस पर खुदकुश ड्रोन दाग डाले। ईरानी पासदारान इनकलाब का 500 से ज़ायद अमरीकी फ़ौजियों की हलाकत का दावा। पासदारान इनकलाब के मुताबिक अमरीका के तैयारा बरदार जहाज़ अब्राहम लिंकन को 4 मिसाइलों से हदफ बनाया गया। इसराइल के इलाके करियात ओनो पर भी ईरानी मिसाइल हमले। इसराइली दिफाई निज़ाम यरूशलेम को ईरान के मिसाइलों से बचाने में नाकाम। बड़े पैमाने पर तबाही मच गई, कई अफराद हलाक। अमरीका का ईरान के खिलाफ फौजी ऑपरेशन में अपने फौजियों की हलाकत का एतराफ़। अमरीकी सेंटकॉम के मुताबिक ईरान की कार्रवाई में 3 अमरीकी फौजी हलाक और 5 जख्मी हो गए। अब्राहम लिंकन पर मिसाइल लगने की तरतीब। इसराइल का ईरान की जौहरी तंसीबात पर एक बार फिर हमला। ईरानी मंदूब बराए आलमी एटमी तवानाई एजेंसी ने गुज़िश्ता रोज़ नेतन्स तंसीबात पर हमले की तस्दीक कर दी। ईरान की कौमी सलामती के मुशीर अली लारेजानी ने अमरीका की मुज़ाकरात की पेशकश मुस्तरद कर दी। वाज़ेह किया कि ईरान ने अरब मुल्कों पर हमला नहीं किया। अरब मुल्कों की सरजमीन पर अड्डे हमारे खिलाफ इस्तेमाल होंगे तो जवाब मिलेगा। ईरानी वज़ीर ख़ारजा अब्बास इराक़ची का कहना है कि अरब मुल्कों को ईरान से नहीं, अमरीका और इसराइल से नाराज़ होना चाहिए। ईरान में अमरीका और इसराइल के हमलों में एक चीनी शहरी की हलाकत। वाशिंगटन ने हमले से कबल चीन पेशगी इत्तला नहीं दी। सलामती काउंसिल की इजाज़त के बगैर फौजी कार्रवाई आलमी कवानीन की खिलाफ वर्जी। चीनी वजारत ख़ारजा ने ईरान को एंटी शिप सुपरसोनिक मिसाइल फराहम करने की तरदीद कर दी। तमाम खलीजी ममालिक को एक दूसरे की इलाकाई सालमियत के एहतराम का पैगाम। अमन व इस्तेहकाम के लिए ताउन की पेशकश। मशरिक़ वस्ता में जंग के शोले फैलने के बाद पाकिस्तान स्टॉक मार्केट में ज़लज़ला। कारोबारी हफ्ते के पहले ही दिन 2 बार मार्केट क्रैश, 2 बार कारोबार मुअत्तल करना पड़ा। 100 इंडेक्स में 16,000 पॉइंट से ज़ायद की कमी। सरमायाकारों के अरबों रुपए डूब गए। भारत, जापान, ताइवान, मलेशिया की मार्केटों में शदीद मंदी का रेला। मशरिक़ वस्ता में जंग और आबनाए हुर्मुज़ की बंदिश के बाद तेल की आलमी कीमतों को पड़ लग गए। कीमतों में 10% तक इजाफा। पाकिस्तान में 28 दिन के तेल के ज़खायर मौजूद। सूरत हाल मुस्तहकम। जंग के तूल पकड़ने पर पेट्रोलियम मसनूआत की कीमतें बढ़ने का खदशा। अमरीका ईरान कशीदगी के बायस 10 ममालिक की फ़ज़ाई हुदूद मुसलसल बंद। हज़ारों परवाज़ें मुतासिर। मुख्तलिफ एयरपोर्ट्स पर लाखों मुसाफिर फंस गए। पाकिस्तान और IMF के दरमियान बाज़ाब्ता मुज़ाकरात का आगाज़। वज़ीर ख़जाना मोहम्मद औरंगज़ेब IMF के साथ मुज़ाकरात में पाकिस्तानी वफ़द की क़यादत कर रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान साइबर फोर्स का भारतीय हैकर्स को मुंह तोड़ जवाब। भारतीय चैनल पर फील्ड मार्शल के हक में मवाद चला दिया। और लाहौर हाईकोर्ट बार के इलेक्शन का तनाज़ा। बार के कियानी हॉल में वकला गुत्थम गुत्था हो गए। नाजेबा अल्फाज इस्तेमाल करने पर खातून वकील पर तशद्दुद। खातून वकील भी थप्पड़ों से जवाब देती रही। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। डॉन न्यूज़ स्टूडियो से मैं हूं सैयद रजी। इस वक्त नायब वज़ीर आज़म इसहाक डार पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान के दरमियान सूरत हाल पर ब्रीफिंग कर रहे हैं।
And that was fixed for yesterday because I was supposed to be back Saturday. But you know that over the last 72 hours, the different developments and the closure of airspace, throughout the Gulf. So I had to, try my best to reach, but I couldn't make it. I was very clear yesterday morning in Saudi Arabia that I won't be able to make 3 o'clock, so that's why I requested my office to reschedule it for today. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience. But as I said, that the original idea was to, when I asked my office to fix a sitting, was the Afghanistan, to update you on Afghanistan, which we will do today. But now the situation which has been evolving, and while I was in Saudi Arabia, from Saturday morning onwards, I think I would like to say, first few words on that, and then I'll walk you through the Afghanistan situation. Excellencies, Pakistan is obviously very closely monitoring the evolving situation in Iran, as well as watching and the tensions which are building up in the region, and we have been deeply interconnected with different countries. I have, while in Saudi Arabia, I was able to talk to Foreign Minister of Iran, Foreign Minister of Uzbekistan, multiple times Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, then Deputy Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates, a number of foreign affairs officials, foreign ministers of Qatar, Foreign Minister of Oman, Deputy Prime Minister of Iraq, and there are certain meetings scheduled with some European diplomats, my counterparts, as well as Jordan and Kuwait later today. So I think the whole objective is that this recent escalation is obviously has now significantly heightened tension in a very already fragile and volatile environment. We are doing our full diplomatic efforts and requesting all parties to de-escalate and to refrain from this process, which according to our information, just not too old, just about a week ago, Prime Minister had official visit to Austria, and we had discussion with the IAEA officials there, and the feedback was very positive. Obviously, these serious developments have taken place at a time when diplomatic efforts were underway to reach a peaceful and negotiated solution. But what triggered all of a sudden this action, and which is now engulfed almost all countries. As late as this morning, we understand that Saudi Arabia has also now, in self-defense, responded to Iran. Though there is no reported casualties, Pakistan, as soon as I landed yesterday, we had a meeting. Prime Minister chaired the meeting. The civil military leadership was there, and there was an official statement, in this regard issued by Prime Minister's office. I'm sure You would have seen that statement as well. We are concerned over a violation of the norms and international law and the age-old tradition that the heads of state and the government should have been seen targeting now. You see, post-World War II, we all know that these institutions were created to create some international, law and order, and that's why there was a UN Charter. There are certain conventions which we all are supposed to follow, but things are on ground moving very differently, which obviously is worrisome because we believe that the international law must prevail and the convention must be respected. In all these engagements, we had consistently urged that the door to dialogue and diplomacy must not be closed. Pakistan's position has been clear and persistent that all countries must abide by the principles of UN Charter and international law, including respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of other states, as well as international humanitarian law. In my latest conversation with Foreign Minister Abbas Arakshi on 28th of February, I have conveyed Pakistan's condemnation of the attacks and called for restraint and diplomacy and dialogue, which he positively responded. But on ground, we are seeing that things are not yet settling or easing out. In the emergency meeting of the UN Security Council held under the agenda the situation in the Middle East, held on 28th of February, Pakistan permanent representative at the UN has also reiterated Pakistan's condemnations of the attack in Iran. I have also spoken with, as I said, different foreign ministers in this regard, and I think I haven't talked to anyone who disagrees that the dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward. Not only for this region, but wherever there is conflict, there are forums available. There are systems in place. Post World War II. So it seems to be a very, very turbulent time in the diplomatic space and diplomatic world, which we all need to work together to bring it back to the original, the principles to move. Pakistan also stands in full solidarity with all our brotherly countries and underscores the need to exercise maximum restraint. That is the message we have been giving to whosoever Prime Minister speaks, whosoever I speak, whosoever Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir speaks to his counterparts on the defense side. We acknowledge that the main target of Iran's retaliatory strikes were in self-defense, but Pakistan deeply regrets and condemns these strikes on the brotherly countries, including Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, and UAE, and Oman. We can't have double standard. As I said, that we were the first ones. I was in Saudi Arabia, and the moment I got this news, my office, I talked to them, and they issued more of a statement condemning it. But within no time, we then found a number of attacks, obviously in self-defense, but that compounded and complicated the situation on ground. So anyway, they were a sovereign state, and it was their decision. They say that we have not attacked those countries, we have attacked the American base there or their installation there. But there is still no justification because of the panic. See what's the turmoil in the entire region. We are seeing. I myself have to find ways and means to get back to the country, and the entire space in the Gulf states airspace was closed. So Prime Minister of Pakistan has expressed his deep regrets and calls to the leadership of the brotherly countries, as I said, almost all of them, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Jordan, Bahrain, one by one, and it has been, requesting to please exercise restraint, don't react, and all this business. This last 72 hours developments are really very, very worrisome. In our outreach at the leadership level, we have called for an immediate halt to escalation through urgent resumption of diplomacy to achieve a peaceful, negotiated resolution to the crisis. Pakistan stands ready to extend our support towards peaceful resolution of outstanding issues. Incidentally, this, if you recall, this is the second round. The last round was in June last year, when again we did our complete efforts. Oman was the mediator, and again Oman is again mediator this time. And the talks in Geneva about a week, 10 days ago were going very positive. So, our effort has been to encourage both the US and Iran to get engaged in dialogue, diplomacy, and resolve the issue. I won't walk you through the entire detail. We are privy to detail of the demands and the responses. We have been encouraging to make it viable, a win-win for both the United States and Iran. And I think we are very close, in counseling both countries on this subject. They were both positive, and they were both forthcoming. You see the actions now. As I said, that Foreign Minister of Oman was absolutely satisfied. So was the authorities of IAEA, whom we met 10 days ago during our official visit to Austria. So it is puzzling that what necessitated all of a sudden, it is. Countries host obviously millions of Pakistani nationals. We have a huge diaspora in almost in every country. The biggest ones are in Saudi Arabia and in UAE. So, you are already aware that in the attack in Abu Dhabi, unfortunately, one of our Pakistani, national was also martyred in that attack. Missions in the region remain fully engaged with the diaspora, remain in close contact with local authorities for with our Foreign Office, constant reach out to our missions and through the missions to the diaspora. We have also, issued advisory giving detail of all the countries and the diaspora the way they should get in touch. The Crisis Management Unit has been activated in the Foreign Office here, as well as our missions in the entire region. Pakistan have always supported a cessation of hostilities, upholding the international law and principles of the UN Charter, resumptions of diplomacy to find a peaceful and negotiated solution. I would like to briefly share with you that all the efforts to bring peace, in the Middle East, particularly in Gaza, Pakistan has been a contributor in all those efforts, starting from formally and I would say seriously starting from 24th of September last year on the sidelines of UNGA, where 5 Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Egypt, and Jordan, and 3 Islamic countries, Pakistan, Turkey, and Indonesia. If we call it Group of 8 Arab Islamic countries, we had very meaningful engagement with President Trump on 24th of September. That was the only thing visible on the media. The rest of the efforts which followed that meeting obviously were off media. And that's which led ultimately, because it was decided that the 8 foreign ministers of the 8 countries who had dialogue on the sidelines of UNGA with President Trump and his team, and the agenda was only one, and that was bringing peace back to Gaza, settlement of the issue, and unhindered flow of human assistance, humanitarian aid, as well as the ceasefire immediate. Although we know that it led to Sharm el-Sheikh, the peace agreement signing, followed by in Davos, where the Board of Peace, signing took place, and now 19th of February, we had Board of Peace first inaugural meeting. So all these been attended by Prime Minister of Pakistan, and I accompanied him, and I think the things were showing very positive progress. We appreciate the efforts made by all concerned, particularly 7 other brotherly countries who have made equal effort with us to bring the Gaza issue to that point. I must also share with you that UK held, I think, very timely meeting in the UN Security Council. They had presidency this month, and I was invited by my counterpart, Excellency Ebert Coopers, to attend the UN Security Council meeting, which was a day prior to the Board of Peace meeting on 19th of February. It was 18th of February, and I especially flew from Austria to attend that meeting, in New York. And our statement was very, very clear. It is on record, and it is available on the website of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan. You can just go through and, frankly, we don't mince words. And we call spade a spade. And wherever, principle demands, we do act accordingly. We have excellent relationship. We have great relationship with China. We have very good relations with the current administration of the United States. We have great relations with all brotherly countries. But I think unless we all believe and act accordingly, that the international law and the UN Charter and the conventions are to be respected and followed, I think then there will be no peace any part of the world. Maybe this time this region. Earlier, I remember last year we had the presidency in July. We on purpose selected the theme for debate, which I chaired in UN Security Council meeting, was multilateralism, peaceful settlement of disputes. And I think UK also deserves compliments by picking the almost same subject on 18th of February, the peace in the Middle East, peace process in the Middle East, including Palestine. So I think these efforts need to be complemented. We should all get strengthened. We should all get united. And I'm sure the sense will prevail, and these institutions can surely work very effectively. So these are few ideas I just wanted to very frankly, because these are the latest development. As I said, the original idea was the Afghanistan, because there were some queries. The spokesperson of Foreign Office has been keeping everybody updated on weekly briefing. But then, my team asked me that I should also brief and have a sitting with you on Afghanistan. So I think, having talked about the recent last 3-4 days developments, I would now bring you back to Afghanistan, because there have been a number of queries from different missions. So I think I want to clarify our position. We surely want good, friendly relations with all our neighborly countries. And you would recall that last year I made 3 trips to Afghanistan. After 4 years of gap, since the Taliban regime came in power, on 19th of April 2025, I just had a visit of Kabul with very open heart and mind. I discussed with them their economic issues, trade issues, political issues, refugees issues, anything they wish to touch. We were very open. We debated, we discussed, we took decisions, and without losing any time, from their soil, I held a press conference which was viewed both, including Pakistan and Afghanistan. So we didn't stop there. We came back, and we implemented everything we decided and promised with our Afghan friends and with the regime. There had been 2 years earlier, during PDM government, 2022-2023, when I was finance minister, we had been working with them on a railway project, Uzbekistan, Pakistan connectivity through Afghanistan, through Kharlachi. That has been in cold storage. As a consequence of my visit of April, they finally agreed to sign the protocol agreement between 3 countries, which was signed in July. That was my second visit in July 2025. And, all the 3 foreign ministers were there. We had our transport or railway ministers with us, who signed that agreement, which obviously was the kickoff of this project for the connectivity of Pakistan to the Central Asia and through Central Asia, even to the Europe and China and other parts of the world. So that was a very positive move. That was followed by a trilateral meeting in August last year, where my great friend, Foreign Minister Wang Yi, myself and Mr. Muttaqi held the meeting, trilateral meeting. We have a trilateral forum, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan. And that was again very positive meeting. We had all the best. By the way, in all these meetings, Pakistan ask has been only one from Afghanistan, not a long list of wish list. And that is, please do not allow your soil to be used for terrorism against any neighboring countries, particularly Pakistan. This is the only ask, right in April, July and August. And unfortunately, that has not been complied with. I know they had issued religious fatwa, but we called it religious, obviously, decree. And there was about 1,000 scholars there. There was the Chief Justice of Afghanistan. There was the Prime Minister of Afghanistan. And they said, we will not allow soil the first time. This was just few months back. But there is no very verifiable actions which should have actually endorsed that fatwa is being implemented. And, the things have been going fairly hot, in the recent past. And, we also elevated our diplomatic relations following my 3 visits, to the ambassadorial level, although there is not recognized. It was at the time of our neighborly, friendly country. Signing of framework agreement, as I said, took place. Early harvest programs are agreed. These are few things I'm just recounting for your memory. Afghan origin, Afghan-bound trucks and containers to and from India, despite our war in May 2025, upon the request of Afghan side was facilitated. The decision of to extend CPAC to Afghanistan was agreed. This was during a trilateral meeting. Foreign Minister Wang Yi, myself, and to Kabul in August. Convening of Joint Coordination Committee meeting of the border security issues. That was also grant of 4,500 scholarships to Afghan students in various fields, including medicines, engineering, and social science under the Lama Iqbal Scholarships Program. Despite of humanitarian relief assistance following the earthquake in eastern Afghanistan on 31st of August. This was again, an action we took. We allowed a liberal visa regime enabling Afghans to visit Pakistan legally for education, health, business and family links. I would also like to highlight that Pakistan has played a proactive role in all important regional and international forums on Afghanistan, such as Quad, replicate this group, Trilateral Foreign Ministers Dialogue, Moscow format, OIC contact group, SCO and neighboring countries format. Now, all this we have been supporting. And as I said, what is our ask or demand? Only one. Please do not allow the TTP, the BLA, the Majid Brigade, which have been proscribed by many countries, that to allow them or to provide the facilitation. This is the only issue we have. And as long as it is handled, it is removed, we have no issue with Afghanistan. We always have been, wishing to have, best of the best relations with all the neighbors, including particularly Afghanistan. As part of these initiatives, Pakistan has consistently called for addressing Afghanistan's multifaceted challenges, in particular the humanitarian and economic situation in the country, which have a direct impact on Pakistan. So, with these background, unfortunately, in October, serious violations took place. Every week, our brave armed forces have to lift, the border of their soldiers and the officers, which is certainly not acceptable under any circumstances. We have the capacity, we have the will, we have, the kinetic capability to handle it in a very meaningful way. But we have been exercising extreme restraint and doing minimum reaction to what has been happening. What you have seen is absolutely, minimum in you can say, self-defense under Article 51 of the UN Charter, because we are the believer. And since we are sitting in the UN Security Council for the 2-year term as non-permanent member till 31st of December this year, so I think we exercise more care to respect the UN Charter and all these things. So unfortunately, Pakistan had, as a consequence of the repeated, by the way, you must recall also that after October, serious violations and attacks, there were rounds, our brotherly country, Qatar, they requested us to allow diplomatic engagement. We sent our team, our defense minister with the team visited Qatar. There were dialogues, but the outcome was nothing, nil. Then it was followed by a dialogue in Istanbul. The outcome was nil. And then even Saudi Arabia. So we had now no choice but to launch Operation Ghazbul Haq in response to repeated terrorist attacks by Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna al-Hindustan against Pakistan emanating from Afghanistan soil, as well as the recent unwarranted and provocative actions by Afghan Taliban regime on the night of as late as 26th of February. So you see, this has led us, has forced us to now take it, now seriously. And some high-profile terrorism incidents include the suicide attack on judicial complex in Islamabad in November 2025, coordinated assault by BLA elements across the entire Balochistan province in January 2026, a suicide bombing on an Imarga in February 2026, which alone took, shahadats of 31 civilians and injured 170 innocent, people who were praying there, and recent terrorist incidents in Bajod, Bannu, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Now, this is the background. This is why we had now no choice but to launch, this Ghazbul Haq operation. Pakistan has conclusive evidence that the recent acts of terrorism in Bajod and Bannu, which is very recent, last a couple of weeks, were perpetrated by TTP at the behest of their Afghanistan-based leadership and handlers. Responsibility for these attacks was claimed by the TTP already and their affiliates, as well as ISKP. Prior to the launch of operation, but what I said, Ghazbul Haq, Pakistan carried out intelligence-based selective targeting of 7 terrorist camps and hideouts on 21st February 2026. When I fixed this meeting, I just wanted to share all these facts with the diplomatic corps. You're all friendly countries, so that it should be on your record and you would be sharing it with your capitals. So, as I said, that the events have overtaken now in the last 3-4 days. Pakistan actions were proportionate, minimum, and measured with careful planning in order to make sure that the only terrorist camps and hideouts are hit and civilian population should not be targeted and should be saved. In response to repeated terrorist attacks by Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna in Pakistan from the Afghan soil, as well as the latest, as I said, the provocative actions by the Taliban regime on 53 locations across 15 sectors. 53 locations across 15 sectors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province on the night of 26 February. Now this is horrifying and this is totally lunatic, that it's like going mad. So this 26th of February, 53 locations targeting 15 sectors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province is totally no-go for Pakistan. Pakistan initiated this Operation Ghazbul Haq in self-defense, carrying out precise and targeted operations against 7 terrorist camps and hideouts belonging to the TTP and ISKP in Afghanistan. Our actions, as I said, were very careful, and in this operation, initially 22 locations in Kabul, Kandahar, Paktia, Nangarhar, Khost, and Paktika were subjected to aerial targeting, and all these targets were military installations which were carefully selected based on our intelligence. As a result of Pakistan befitting response to Afghan Taliban's regime against Pakistan, valiant forces targeted 37 locations in Afghanistan. 415 Taliban's regime personnel and Khawarij were eliminated. 182 posts completely destroyed. 31 posts captured. 185 tanks and APCs destroyed. 46 locations targeted across Afghanistan, as I stated earlier. Pakistan's 12 brave soldiers embraced Shahadat, martyrdom, 27 injured, and 1 is missing in action. Our position is still, we desire peaceful, stable, regional integration and prosperous Pakistan. We are well-wisher and we will remain well-wisher. We have all the sympathy for the people, brothers and sisters in Afghanistan. But this is something which we have done against those elements who have been unfortunately sponsored or patronized by the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, and as a consequence, we have been, facing all these, terrorist